The bright blue light of multiple monitors cast a ghostly glow across Dr. Park Ji-won's tired face. She hadn't slept in 26 hours. Her eyes burned, but she couldn't look away from the data flowing across her screen. "This can't be right," she muttered, rubbing her eyes. But the numbers didn't lie. Something large, several somethings, had entered the solar system 3 days ago. They moved with purpose, not like asteroids or comets. They were changing course, adjusting their trajectory toward Earth. Dr. Park reached for her communication panel. "Director Kim, I need you to come see this immediately." 5 minutes later, Director Kim Tae-yeon stood behind her chair, his breath shallow as he studied the readings. His normally calm face showed rare concern. "Are you certain these aren't equipment errors?" he asked quietly. "I've checked everything 3 times, Dr. Park replied. "And there's something else." She tapped a key, and a new data stream appeared. "They're broadcasting signals. Complex patterns. This isn't random noise. It's communication." Within 6 hours, the United Space Council gathered in emergency session. Representatives from every nation with space capabilities sat in tense silence as technicians prepared to play the translated alien message. "People of Earth." The voice sounded almost musical, though clearly processed through translation software. "We are the Telsarians. We come seeking asylum. Our people face extinction." The room erupted in voices. Some shouted questions, others demanded immediate military response. Director Kim raised his hands for quiet. "We need to hear more before we decide anything," he said firmly. 2 days passed in frantic preparation. Military forces worldwide went on high alert. Scientists worked around the clock analyzing the alien transmissions. Government leaders drafted response scenarios ranging from welcome to warfare. The aliens chose their landing site, the international spaceport outside Seoul. Dr. Park stood among the welcome committee, her heart pounding as the sleek silver ship descended from the clouds. Armed soldiers surrounded the landing pad. Tanks and missile launchers waited just out of sight. The ship settled onto the tarmac with barely a sound. After a tense minute, a door slid open. The aliens emerged slowly, hands raised in what seemed to be a universal gesture of peace. Dr. Park gasped. The Telsarians stood nearly 7 feet tall, impossibly thin with graceful limbs. Their skin shimmered like oil on water, shifting from blue to green as they moved. They had no hair, but their heads were elegantly shaped with large, deep-set eyes. "Their skin color indicates anxiety," Dr. Park whispered to General Lee beside her. "My team analyzed their communications. Blue tones mean they're nervous." The lead alien stepped forward. "I am called Dono," he said, his voice matching the one from the transmission. "Thank you for allowing us to land." Over the next hour, in a hastily prepared conference room, Dono explained their situation. The Telsarians were once part of a vast galactic community ruled by the Vraxian Coalition. When they discovered the Coalition's plans to control developing worlds like Earth, they objected. "For our resistance, we were branded traitors," Dono explained. "Our entire species was forced to leave our homeworld. We have traveled through space for generations, seeking a place where we might safely exist." General Lee kept his hand near his weapon. "How many of you are there?" 300,000, Dono replied. 17 ships like the one you saw today. Our environmental systems are failing after centuries of operation." Dono's skin darkened to deep purple. "But we face a worse threat than mechanical failure. Our people are dying from within. Our cells are breaking down in a way we cannot stop." The next day, Dr. Park boarded the Telsarian medical ship with a team of Earth's best doctors. What they found shocked them all. The Telsarian's cellular structure was collapsing. Under microscopes, Dr. Park watched as perfect cells suddenly twisted and died. "This isn't natural," she told her colleagues. "The pattern is too precise, too methodical." That evening, she presented her findings to the Space Council. The Telsarians aren't just sick. They've been poisoned at the genetic level. This damage activates after a specific number of generations. She displayed images on the main screen. Whatever did this was designed to ensure their extinction. Without help, none of their children will survive to adulthood. Director Kim's face was grave. And you believe we can help them? Dr. Park nodded. I think so. But we need to understand why this was done to them, and who we might anger by helping them. As she spoke, deep space monitoring stations detected new signals from beyond Pluto. More ships were coming. The red dust of Mars swirled around the gleaming domes that now dotted the northern plains. 6 months had passed since Earth agreed to help the Talsarians, and the first colony was taking shape under the rust-colored sky. Dr. Park Ji-won stepped through the airlock into the central research dome, shaking dust from her boots. The main laboratory hummed with activity. Human scientists in blue uniforms worked alongside tall, slender Talsarians whose skin shifted in patterns of green and gold. Colors Dr. Park had learned indicated focus and hope. Good morning, Dr. Park, called Miro, the lead Talsarian scientist. His English had improved greatly in recent months. Dr. Park smiled. Despite the circumstances, she enjoyed working with Miro. His brilliant mind approached problems from angles she would never have considered. Any progress with sample group 3? She asked, pulling up her research station. Miro's skin darkened slightly. The treatment slowed the degradation, but didn't stop it. The cells still died after 48 hours. Commander Choi Juno entered the lab, his military uniform dusty from his morning perimeter check. Though still formal, his rigid posture had relaxed somewhat after months of working with the peaceful Talsarians. Security report, Doctor, he said, handing Dr. Park a tablet. All systems normal. The new habitats will be ready for the next group from the ships in 2 days. Dr. Park nodded. Thank you, Commander. Could you stay for our briefing? I have some findings to discuss. An hour later, the three sat in the small conference room adjacent to the lab. Digital displays showed microscopic images of Talsarian cells in various stages of breakdown. Look at this pattern. Dr. Park pointed to the screen. It's too perfect, too systematic. Natural genetic decay is random, but this... She tapped several points on the image. This follows a precise sequence. Miro's skin rippled with dark purple waves, the color of deep sadness. It matches Vraxian bioweapon signatures. They are known for their delayed punishment methods. Commander Choi leaned forward. You're telling me this was deliberate? Some kind of kill switch? Exactly, Dr. Park confirmed. Designed to activate several generations after the exile, when the Talsarians would have established new homes, new families, new hope, Miro finished, his voice hollow. Dr. Park switched to another display. I've identified the damaged gene sequences. To create a cure, we need samples of undamaged Talsarian DNA. Does such material exist anywhere, Miro? The alien was silent for a moment. Only on Telsar Prime, our homeworld. The Vraxians would have preserved samples in the genetic archives. They never destroy scientific resources. Commander Choi frowned. A world now controlled by the people who created this condition in the first place. The conversation halted as the communication screen on the wall lit up with an urgent signal from Earth. Director Kim's face appeared, lines of worry etched around his eyes. Dr. Park, Commander Choi, we have a situation, he said without greeting. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected vessels entering the solar system. The energy signatures don't match any known configuration. Miro moved into view of the camera. May I see the readings? Director Kim nodded to someone off-screen, and data appeared beside his image. Miro's skin instantly blanched to a pale white. Dr. Park had never seen that color before. Vraxian scout ships, Miro whispered. They found us. The room fell silent. Commander Choi was the first to speak. How long until they reach Mars? At their current speed, 5 days, Director Kim replied. We're mobilizing our defense systems. But he didn't need to finish the sentence. Earth's military technology was no match for what the Talsarians had described. Miro's skin rippled with conflicting colors. He looked at Dr. Park, then Commander Choi, then back to the screen. "There is something I must tell you," he said finally. "Something we didn't fully explain when we arrived." Dr. Park felt a chill. "What is it, Nero?" "The Vraxians didn't exile us merely for political disagreement. We discovered their central planning documents, their categorization of developing worlds." Miro's voice trembled. Earth was designated as a resource world, a planet to be harvested for materials and biological specimens, not a civilization to be welcomed into the galactic community. Commander Choi's face hardened. "And by helping you." "By helping us," Miro confirmed, "humanity has likely marked itself for Vraxian intervention. I am sorry we brought this to your doorstep." Dr. Park looked at the dying cells on the screen, then at her notes on potential cures. They were close to a breakthrough, but needed time and materials they didn't have. "Director Kim," she said firmly, "we need a mission to Telsar Prime. It's the only way to save the Telsarians. And perhaps," Commander Choi added quietly, "the only way to save Earth." The Vraxian ship was 3 times larger than anything humans had built. It descended from the clouds above Seoul with a deep, vibrating hum that made windows shake for miles around. Dr. Park Ji-won watched from the observation gallery of the United Space Council headquarters as the alien craft landed in the specially reinforced area. Her hands gripped the railing tightly. "It'll be fine," Commander Choi whispered beside her, though his tense posture suggested otherwise. Everyone in the room fell silent as the ship's entry ramp extended. The first Vraxian emerged, and gasps echoed through the gallery. Where the Telsarians were tall and graceful, this creature was massive and imposing. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, the Vraxian had a broad body covered in ridged plates that looked like armor. Its skin was a dark reddish-brown, and 4 separate eyes blinked independently on its face. Each arm ended in a 3-fingered hand with sharp black claws. "They look like walking tanks," someone whispered. The Vraxian delegation was escorted to the main council chamber. Dr. Park and Commander Choi hurried to take their seats in the rear observation area. At the central table sat President Han Sora, flanked by Earth's top military and diplomatic leaders. The lead Vraxian spoke, its voice processed through translation devices. "I am Galax, emissary of the Vraxian Coalition Supreme Command. Your world harbors dangerous fugitives." President Han's face remained calm. "The Telsarians came to us seeking help. They face extinction." Galax's 4 eyes blinked in different patterns. "They are criminals. They stole valuable coalition technology before their exile. They are condemned." "We've seen no evidence of criminal behavior," President Han replied firmly. "They arrived peacefully requesting humanitarian assistance, which we provided." Galax made a sharp clicking sound that made the translators emit static. "They deceive you. The Telsarians were banished for attempting to disrupt the natural order of galactic development. Their interference in developing worlds caused chaos and destruction." Dr. Park leaned toward Commander Choi. "He's completely inverting the truth. Classic projection technique." Commander Choi nodded slightly, making them sound like what the Vraxians actually are. Galax continued, each word measured and cold. "The Vraxian Coalition demands their immediate surrender. You have 3 Earth days to comply. After that time, your world will be considered in violation of Coalition law." "And what does that mean, exactly?" General Lee asked, his voice sharp. Galax's upper eyes fixed on the general, while his lower eyes continued scanning the room. "It means appropriate measures will be taken to secure the fugitives and address the violation." After the Vraxians departed, the council room erupted in argument. General Lee slammed his fist on the table. "We must prepare our defenses immediately. Their technology is advanced, but we have numbers and home field advantage." The economics minister shook her head. "We should comply. We cannot risk global destruction for aliens we barely know." Arguments continued for nearly an hour before President Han raised her hand for silence. "We will not abandon those who came to us for help. That is not who we are." She turned to Dr. Park. "Doctor, what progress have you made on the cure for the Telsarians?" Dr. Park stood. "We've identified exactly how the genetic degradation works. The Vraxians engineered it as a delayed death sentence. But to create a cure, we need undamaged Telsarian DNA. According to our research, such samples only exist in one place, Telsar Prime, the Telsarian homeworld, which is now a Vraxian military outpost," Commander Choi added. President Han looked at her military advisors, then back to Dr. Park. "Then we have no choice. We need a mission to Telsar Prime to retrieve these samples." Commander Choi stepped forward. "I'll lead it, Madam President." "I must go as well," Dr. Park said firmly. "I'm the only one who knows exactly what genetic material we need." President Han studied them both for a long moment before nodding. "Very well. General Lee, arrange for our most advanced stealth vessel. Director Kim, provide whatever scientific equipment Dr. Park requires." As the meeting ended, Dr. Park felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to find Miro standing there, his skin a mixture of blue worry and golden determination. "Thank you," the Telsarian said simply. "Your people risk everything for mine." Dr. Park smiled. "That's what friends do." Outside, the Vraxian ship still loomed over the city like a storm cloud. 3 days until their deadline. Dr. Park knew they would need to move quickly. The mission to Telsar Prime would have to launch within 24 hours. As she gathered her notes, a thought struck her. The Vraxians had given them 3 days, but expected compliance. They would never anticipate a countermove like this. Perhaps that would be humanity's advantage. The Vraxians clearly underestimated what humans would do to protect those they had promised to help. The asterisk shadowed in Sir Asterisk slipped through space like a ghost. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it. Inside, 12 humans and 2 Telsarians worked in tense silence. Commander Choi stood at the center of the bridge, studying the holographic display of the Telsarian home system. 5 planets orbited a yellow star, with the 4th planet highlighted in blue. "We'll drop out of FTL at these coordinates," he said, pointing to a spot behind one of the system's moons. "The lunar mass should hide our heat signature." Dr. Park checked her equipment one final time. The sample containers were specially designed to preserve genetic material during space travel. She had obsessively tested them for weeks. "Are you ready?" she asked Miro, who stood beside her. The Telsarian's skin had turned a grayish-green color that Dr. Park now recognized as extreme tension. "It has been 200 years since any of my people saw our homeworld," he said quietly. "Prepare for exit from FTL," announced the pilot. 3, 2, 1. The stars outside the viewports suddenly stopped stretching. The asterisk shadowed in Sir Asterisk emerged into normal space, engines immediately powering down to minimal levels. Before them hung a large cratered moon. Beyond it, they could see the blue-green sphere of Telsar Prime. Miro's skin rippled with colors as he gazed at his ancestral home. "Scans show heavy orbital traffic," reported the sensor officer. "Multiple defense platforms and patrol vessels." Commander Choi nodded. "Maintain stealth protocols. Begin approach vector as planned." The asterisk shadowed in Sir Asterisk glided silently around the moon's edge, using its gravity to mask their approach. On the tactical display, red dots indicated Vraxian ships. Telsar Prime was once covered in great forests, Miro told Dr. Park as they watched the planet grow larger. The capital city was built to blend with the trees, not replace them. The ship's cameras zoomed in on the surface, showing vast industrial complexes where forests had once stood. "The genetic repository will be in the Central Science Archive," Miro continued. "In the old capital district." Commander Choi joined them, his face grim. "We'll use a small shuttle for the surface approach. The main ship will hide in the planet's rings." 3 hours later, Dr. Park, Commander Choi, Miro, and 3 security officers crouched inside a small shuttle heading toward the planet's surface. They had bypassed the orbital security using old Telsarian access codes that, remarkably, still worked. The Vraxians never expected anyone to return, Miro explained. They are confident in their power. The shuttle landed in an abandoned industrial zone. The team moved quickly through empty streets, guided by Miro's knowledge and updated maps from their ship's scans. What they saw shocked them. The city was populated not just by Vraxians, but by at least 5 other alien species. All worked under obvious Vraxian supervision. Some species mined resources, others built ships or weapons. None interacted with each other. "Look at the living quarters," whispered Dr. Park, pointing to separated housing zones. "Each species is kept isolated from the others." "Divide and conquer," Commander Choi murmured. "Classic control tactic." They reached the science archive without incident. Using Miro's genetic signature, they gained access to the secure storage levels. "Here," Miro said finally, stopping before a sealed door. "This is the Telsarian genetic repository." Dr. Park worked quickly, collecting samples of unmodified Telsarian DNA. These pristine genetic blueprints would be essential for creating a cure. Miro stood watch, his skin shifting between colors as emotions washed over him. Meanwhile, Commander Choi accessed a nearby data terminal. His eyes widened as he scrolled through the information. "The Telsarians weren't alone," he reported. "There's evidence of at least 7 species who resisted Vraxian control. All were either conquered or scattered." Dr. Park looked up from her work. "So they've done this before. Exile a species, let them think they've escaped, then ensure their extinction generations later. And any world that helps them becomes a target," Commander Choi added grimly. Dr. Park sealed the last sample container. "We've got what we need." Their escape started smoothly. They retraced their steps through the city, avoiding patrols. But as they approached the shuttle landing site, alarms suddenly blared across the district. "They've detected the shuttle," shouted one of the security officers. They ran the final blocks, Vraxian security forces closing in behind them. As they reached the shuttle, energy weapons fired, scorching the ground at their feet. "Everyone in now," Commander Choi ordered, returning fire to cover their retreat. The shuttle lifted off with Vraxian forces still firing from below. They raced toward orbit, where the *Shadowdancer* was already moving to intercept them. As they docked with the main ship, Commander Choi studied the tactical display. His face darkened. "Multiple Vraxian warships are powering up," he reported. "And they're not pursuing us. They're setting course for Earth." Dr. Park clutched the case containing the genetic samples. "We need to warn them." The *Shadowdancer* jumped to FTL, racing back toward Earth. Dr. Park knew they had what they needed to save the Telsarians. But now they had to save humanity, too. The sky above Earth darkened as 27 Vraxian warships took position. Each ship was massive, looking like floating mountains of metal against the blue backdrop. Their 3-day ultimatum had expired. The first ships entered Earth's atmosphere over the Pacific Ocean, moving toward major cities. They expected little resistance. They were wrong. When the lead Vraxian vessel approached firing range, the oceans below suddenly opened. Hidden platforms rose from the depths, revealing weapon systems Earth had never publicly acknowledged. Similar defenses emerged from mountain ranges and desert sands worldwide. In the weeks since the Telsarians arrived, humans had been studying alien technology day and night. Engineers had worked without rest to adapt what they learned to Earth's existing weapons. The first Vraxian ship that came too close was met with a focused energy beam that cut through its lower section. The damaged ship listed sideways, then retreated to higher orbit. On Mars, Dr. Park Ji-won hadn't slept in 3 days. She bent over her microscope, carefully mixing the pure Telsarian genetic material with her treatment formula. Beside her, Miro watched with skin that had turned bright yellow, the color of hope. "If this works," she said, eyes red from exhaustion, "the treatment will not only stop the degradation but reverse it. Your people will be able to have healthy children again." Outside the lab, they could hear the distant rumble of Mars-based defense systems activating. The Vraxians had sent ships to Mars as well, intent on capturing the Telsarian settlement. Dr. Park injected the treatment into the test sample and held her breath as she watched the cellular reaction under the microscope. The damaged Telsarian cells began to repair themselves, their structure stabilizing. "It's working," she whispered, then looked up at Miro with a tired smile. "It's working." Miro's skin burst into swirls of bright, joyful colors Dr. Park had never seen before. Back at Earth, the battle grew fiercer. Human defenses were strong but beginning to falter against the superior Vraxian technology. Then something unexpected happened. 3 new ships appeared at the edge of the solar system. They weren't Vraxian in design. They were different, each unique, as if built by different civilizations. "We're receiving a transmission," called out the communications officer at Earth Defense Command. On the main screen appeared 3 different alien faces. None were Telsarian or Vraxian. "People of Earth," began the first alien, its skin purple and textured like bark. "We received the evidence broadcast by your Commander Choi from Telsar Prime. The Vraxians have suppressed our peoples for too long. Today, we stand with you." The 3 alien ships, though small compared to the Vraxian fleet, possessed technology that easily countered the Vraxian weapons. They had lived under Vraxian rule and knew their weaknesses. The battle turned quickly. The Vraxians, never having faced unified resistance before, fell into disarray. Within hours, their remaining ships retreated from Earth orbit, though not before their commander sent a final message. "This is not over. We will return with the full might of the coalition." 2 months later, the first Telsarian children to receive Dr. Park's treatment played in a special area of the Mars colony. Their skin colors were vibrant and healthy, showing no signs of the genetic degradation that had threatened their extinction. In a grand chamber on Earth, representatives from 7 different species gathered for a historic meeting. President Hansora stood at the center, addressing them all. "Today we form something new in this part of the galaxy," she declared. "Not an empire built on fear like the Vraxians created, but an alliance founded on mutual respect and aid." Dr. Park stood in the observation area above with Miro at her side. His skin glowed a peaceful blue-green. "Your people saved mine," Miro said quietly. "When no one would help us, when we had lost all hope, humans opened their world to us." Dr. Park smiled. "Maybe that's what humans do best. Not our technology or our fighting skills, but our stubborn refusal to abandon those who need help." "The Vraxians will return," Miro noted. "And when they do, they'll find us ready," Dr. Park replied. "Not just humans, but all of us together." Below them, the Alliance of Independent Worlds signed their first formal treaty. Each species brought different strengths. Telsarian science, Earth's determination, the Balorians' advanced propulsion, the Neth's communication systems, and more. Word of the Alliance spread quickly through nearby star systems. Other subjugated worlds began quiet rebellions, inspired by what had happened at Earth. On Mars, a young Telsarian girl with bright orange skin chased a ball across red soil under a protective dome. She would grow up healthy, with no memory of the genetic curse that had nearly ended her people. She was the future, proof that compassion could reach across the stars, beyond the boundaries of species and worlds. The Vraxians would indeed return someday. But when they did, they would find not isolated victims, but a united front of worlds standing together.